Good afternoon. I think everybody here knows me, but Scott Noble, former president of the Veterans Club here at Concord, and I jumped at the chance to take this opportunity to be a, master of ceremonies for this event. Not only because I am a Concord alum and a veteran, but I am the son of a Vietnam veteran. And I can't express the amount of gratitude I feel every day when I come across a Vietnam veteran. As a young airman in 1985, not a stripe on my sleeve, I was a slick sleeve. I was taken under the wing of guys that had served in Vietnam: William Piazza, Gary Griffin, Tom Griffin, no relation. These were guys that were in the dirt, and they did everything they could to teach me to be a better airman, and they made me a better NCO. And I'm happy to report that Pete Piazza, as we call him, he was the highest decorated security policeman on active duty when I served. He was awarded the Silver Star for his actions during the Tet Offensive. Many of us feel that Pete should have gotten the Medal of Honor, but Pete, like most Vietnam vets, he served with humility and didn't talk much about what he did. We had to research it. And I'm happy to report that we are naming a gate after him at my first duty station, Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma. I also learned to lose at cards very well at the hands of Vietnam veterans. One last anecdote. I'm trying to keep my remarks short, and those of you that know me know that that's quite an effort. The Mayaguez incident occurred in 1975. On the way back to their home duty station, a Marine recon team was flying on a C-141, and as they're prone to do, it broke down. They had to stay at our base in Georgia. And the Spouses Club took in 4 Marines at their homes, and I had the honor of spending 4 days with some great guys, and their team leader, Red, the crusty old gunnery sergeant, taught me how to lose at cards quite well. But today we're here to thank and acknowledge the service and sacrifice of those that return, and the 58,212 men and 8 women who did not return. I would ask right now that the Vietnam vets in the room please stand and be recognized. Thank you all very much. Right now I'd like to invite the Pikeview Junior ROTC Honor Guard to post the colors. If you would now join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Colors. Forward. March.
Thank you. Right now, I'd like to invite retired Chief Petty Officer Sonny Rotenberry. He has a poem for us.
Thank you all for coming today. It's always a pleasure to acknowledge the Vietnam veterans, also the Iraqi Desert Storm and the theaters that we were in. I'm a Navy veteran. I He joined the Navy in the Vietnam era, and before we were called to go to Vietnam, they canceled our orders and sent us to the Med for a 10-month cruise. That was my introduction to the Navy. It was a lot of fun. I was in Desert Storm with Fighter Outfit Squadron, and my job in the Navy was doing maintenance on aircraft, which is jet fighters, which is what we had to count on out there because we had nobody else. I'd like to say a few words. There's a poem that was written in honor of the Vietnam Veteran Wall in Washington, D.C., and it's called Memories Etched in a Stone. That aging face, wrinkled, worn over time, stares back with haunted eyes, the reflection broken only by letters etched into polished black granite. Those letters forever form names, carved deeply into an old warrior's soul, names of men, heroes left behind, their ghosts still clothed in boonie hats, muddy boots, and blood-stained fatigues. Remembered faces drift by in the darkness of that cold stone. Friends, comrades, brothers in arms, purposely forgotten by too many, save the families and survivors. Mine wonders, who really died over there? Were they the lucky ones? Those who returned home were branded as baby killers and spat upon. Nightmare sounds return to old ears, the staccato sound of gunfire, the thunder of mortar and artillery, the steady hump of Huey blades. Reverberate like dissident heartbeats. So many lost in that place, decades ago feel like yesterday. Their sacrifice frozen in time here. One long wall to tell their story, to stare at in disbelief. Tearful vows made as flowers are placed, as names are traced on paper strips, as notes of grief dropped on cold ground. Never again will heroes be forgotten, simply because they performed their duties as ordered. One final snap to attention, one final salute, one final farewell offered from a weary old soldier to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. We will remember you, everyone, your memories etched in stone. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Joseph Blankenship, Purple Heart recipient, United States Army, served during the Vietnam era. We'll be reading a letter to you from Congressman Nick Joe Rahal. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Dear friends, I deeply regret that I cannot be with you to commemorate this solemn occasion, but please be assured I am with you in spirit. On this anniversary of the Vietnam War's end, we join minds and hearts in reflection of the soldiers who served our country in the far-off jungles overseas. Many of these men rest in peace in Arlington Cemetery. Surrounded by brothers, their names etched in stone. You are here today, returned more than 41 years ago, to rebuild your lives in the country you dutifully and faithfully served abroad. Welcome home. I'm honored to represent you in Congress, and I'm proud to announce today the introduction of legislation I introduced establishing March the 30th of this year as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. To all our Vietnam veterans, I offer you my heartfelt appreciation for your sacrifice and service. Our nation owes you so much, the least of which being the benefits and care that you were promised in return for your military service. I know that I am always available to assist you and your family by cutting through the red tape at the United States Department of Veteran Affairs and facilitating access to health care and support services that you have earned and deserved. Please let me know anytime that I may be able to help or assist you or your family. With warm regards, I am, sincerely, Nick J. Rahal II, Member of Congress.
As you can see, that period in time, the emotions of it crosses generations. And I was startled as a military brat and as a military member how it took us over a decade to say what Congressman Rahal said in that letter. It was welcome home. And I know it's been 41 years, but to this day, when I meet a Vietnam vet, for the first time, I say to you, welcome home. I thank you all for being here today. God bless you and God bless America.